Hello everyone, welcome back to another video, another market review. Yeah, I'll be going over today's trading day. I took one trade today and it was a break even, but in my opinion, I'm still pretty happy with today, and I'll be getting into why. So starting off, looking at the news calendar for today, we have CPI at 8:30. So I'll let that news event pass before looking for any setups. And if there is a setup before 9:30 a.m., I'd be taking it on the 15-minute chart, because I only trade the 5-minute after equities open. So now going into the analysis side of things, still keeping in mind this monthly narrative of possibly seeing lower prices to this monthly fair value gap if we continue to see lower prices. But that's not something that's influencing too much intraday trading. So then we go to the daily chart, and we can see that we are still in this bearish range, and NQ swept this liquidity, this target we were looking for a while, and then got aggressively bought from there and completely manipulated this low. And we also have a previous month low SMT here. And the way we reacted to this external range liquidity makes me think we could see some internal range liquidity of the range before possibly looking for lower prices. And the internal range liquidity I'm thinking of is this swing high right here on the daily chart. That's the same framework that I had yesterday. I was looking for some longs up towards this swing high. So same thing again as yesterday. Basically looking at this as a daily external range liquidity to internal range liquidity in the form of the swing high. And then when we go to our intermediate term time frame chart, we can see that I'll go here to see it better. Yeah. So we know that this week we've been very bullish. We completely flipped the new week opening gap and displaced past it. And then at the start of the day, we had a previous day low SMT with the bodies. So if you see ES closed below if you're looking just at the candle bodies, it made a lower low, and also YM, but NQ failed to. I took a screenshot also. This is how it was looking before the market opened. As you can see, NQ's bodies made a higher low, but ES, it made a lower low, closing below. So we have a previous day low SMT. So I was interested to look for longs up until previous day high. It was pretty simple. Pretty straightforward kind of analysis today. And then hopping on to the 15-minute chart before 9:30 open, I could see that we had a previous session low SMT. So ES and YM took out previous session low, but NQ failed to. And at the time we were pushing here, and if we got a closure above this down close candle, that would be a 15-minute change in the state of delivery in which I would enter a long position. So basically the framework I was looking for is daily external range liquidity to internal range liquidity. We also have an intermediate time frame previous day low SMT, and then finally our low time frame entry SMT in the form of the 15-minute chart. Something also to keep in mind is that I was looking at the volume profile, and this volume profile right here, the recent one, was yesterday's volume profile. And I marked out the point of control of yesterday because we were trading below it. I marked this out on the chart, you'll see, because it's kind of a key level that I was interested to see what price would do there. So when we got that change in state of delivery on the 15-minute chart, I entered right here. It was right at 9:30 open, and price immediately started kind of pushing higher. So I know there's quite a few lines here, My bad. But this line right here, my target was previous day high for around like 1.46R. It's not like a really high risk reward trade, but good enough. And then this randomly drawn line isn't random actually. It's the point of control of yesterday. So if price hits into there, I'd likely bring my stops to break even. Because if we see heavy rejection from previous session high and the point of control, then it doesn't really seem like price is very bullish. So that was the trade, and then this is how it went. So I entered, we pushed higher, and then we retraced and tapped into this fair value gap right here. We created a 15-minute fair value gap, and then we pushed high from there, and we actually went pretty close to the target. We hit that previous session high and that point of control of yesterday, and around here I brought stops to break even because we were pushing pretty hard in the right direction. We hit into all these key levels. I wouldn't want to see price come all the way back down, so I brought stops to break even right here. And then we left this really big wick, and that was the first sign I was like, oh, it doesn't really seem too bullish. And then I got stopped out at break even right here. Overall though, I think it was a pretty good decision. So I'm gonna go back to how the day looked. Yeah, so this is what the day's looking like. See, pretty choppy price action. We hit into that point of control of yesterday. I brought stops to break even, got stopped out at break even, and then price just continued lower and even took out that original stop. So yeah, even though it was a break even day, I'm actually really happy with my performance today. I think that I was I had a clear head and did kind of a very good objective analysis of how price action was developing, and I think I brought stops to break even at a really good time at around when we hit these key levels, because I didn't want to see rejection from here. And yeah, that's basically it for the day. Not much else. Yeah, so basically it was a very good example of being nimble and knowing when to protect yourself and to mitigate risk. Because there was a time, maybe like a few months ago, I'll just leave stops where they are, and this trade would have been a loss. But because of these key levels I had in mind and how price was reacting to them, I brought stops to break even and avoided a loss. So this was I think a very good performance today. So yeah, hope this was insightful, and we'll come back tomorrow and see what's up. As of right now, it just seems like price is just chopping about here, so not super interesting. But yeah, anyway, see you tomorrow. Bye.